Thanks a lot for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is International Forum. I am Wilson Omasho. Today it's all about what is happening, what has happened in Iran, the death of their president, Ebrahim Raisi. Right now, Iranians, they are mourning, they are crying, they are wailing, they are giving their president the last respect. But there are some speculations that some parts of Iran, they are jubilating. They are happy about the news. Anyway, my analyst definitely will throw more light on that too. Let us know the impact this will have in the balance of power in the Middle East. Don't forget that Ayatollah single-handedly, so to speak, picked Ibrahim because from what they said is Ayatollah's progeny. Now that he's gone, according to the Constitution, the Vice President is now going to be the acting president till 50 days or thereabout before the election will just be conducted to fill in that place. But what I said is there might just be that weakness in that particular position being occupied by Iran. Some term it a vacuum. Now, what do you feel about that terminology, if there's anything like that? Some are saying we'll not see another person like Ebrahim Raisi, Ayatollah, would just be like mourning right now because, according to report, Raisi understood Ayatollah and he was going, monitoring, working with the tenets of their supreme leader. We'll take a look at it. Before that, let's take a look at some stories making rounds globally. Quickly to the U.S. You heard about the hush money. Yes, U.S. former President Trump is still very much in the news in the U.S. about the hush money trial. This time around, Cohen, he's like saying that, look, all might not just be well. Cohen says he stole thousands from company. Now you see, he used to be Trump's right-hand man, Trump's lawyer way back until everything went south and all that. And they are saying that what Trump did, about trying to cover his scandal, even because of your electioneering before he became the president, is a crime in the U.S. Definitely going to go for it. But don't forget they signed a contract, the hush money. And of course, Trump denied it, saying he doesn't know Storm, whether you've been a porn star or not. It has nothing to do with Storm, but Storm Daniels broke the contract according to the agreement. But the law might not be looking at it from that point of view. You denying on that oath, you being a president and all that, and you're having such a dark secret. Let's see how the jury will just judge this case, because Trump right now is saying this is practically a witch hunt. And take a look at American history. It's like Donald Trump is the #1 ex-president saddled or being hit front, back, left, and center with indictments. And of course, with court cases, plethora of them. The big question now is, who is afraid of Donald Trump? And Americans definitely will answer it before this year runs out. Moving on to the next story, where International Criminal Court are now saying that Netanyahu rather, and Hamas should face war crime. Yes, that's what I'm saying, right? Because they are blaming both Hamas and the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, saying whatever befell the people in the Gaza Strip or the Gaza region, Hamas and the Prime Minister of Israel should be held responsible. Both the group Hamas and the Prime Minister should be taken to court to come answer for the crime against humanity. Because they said both of them really started this. Yes, Hamas attacked, and of course Netanyahu retaliated in more than 1,000-fold. People like talking about it, saying the way Israel reacted ought not to be the way they should have reacted. And now we're talking about genocide and all that. Despite the fact that there's ceasefire, we get to hear also of, the tank fire. Yeah, sure that Hamas also is also fighting back, so to speak. But now, if you take them to court, who will bear the cut? Who will take the fall for this particular incident that transpired between Hamas and Israel? Israel is saying that they are going after Hamas. That is what they're going after. But saying that, no, the way you're doing it is not surgical anymore. This is genocide. And international criminal courts are saying both of you, the group and the Prime Minister, should confess war crimes. Anyway, let's see how all this will pan out. With me here in the studio, I have a legal practitioner, professional commentator. Join me to welcome Barrister Abayomi Thomas. Welcome to International Forum. Appreciate your coming.
Thank you for calling me. Good afternoon to viewers at home.
Now, still very close to him, he is a lecturer from UniBen and, of course, a clergyman, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Honorable Frank Amego. Welcome to International Forum.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Now, when this news broke, some would have thinking that was like a rumor. Others say, no, it's not possible. Before you know, some people like beginning to point accusing fingers at some Western powers. And, of course, Israel saying that they may just have a hand in it. Mossad not exempted. And it went on and on to Israel to say, look, we are not the one responsible for this. Taking a look at this situation right now in the Middle East with Mr. President of Iran to speak out of the equation, do you think things will be the same again? I want to start off with Honorable Frank Amego. What do you feel about this?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. We will condole with the people of Iran over the demise of their president now becoming a former president, and it's not a thing one will wish his neighbor, the kind of death. I know death is dead, but this one appears so painful. If he was sick, one would have said, okay, let's try attending to him medically. But now, hail and hearty, the next news was on Sunday that the Bears 212 helicopter had crashed. One would expect that as a president, the best aircraft available will be the one he used. So it makes some want to think maybe there was sabotage along the line. Maybe some persons were responsible. And just as you said, Israel has quickly announced that they weren't responsible. Otherwise, all eyes would have been focused on Israel, going by what Iran through the president did to them by launching out missiles and all that against Israel some time ago. So the death, I don't think they can blame it on anyone because there has to be kind of an evidence to prove that. Would the pilots have known that there was a challenge with the helicopter, or the control tower would have alerted them? These and many more, the remote or an immediate cause of the crash will have to be unraveled. But it's a good thing that he died.
It's a good that he died?
He died because...
Why would you say that?
There'll be kind of relative peace in the Middle East for a while, because it was penciled down to take over from the supreme leader, at least for the period whereby someone like him want to rise up. To take a long period of time to do as the former president did, because it was the mastermind over so many attacks, fueling so many crises. A lot of persons have died. Well, of course, his hands are or were stained by blood, innocent people. So that's why I said, well, thank God he died. I'm aware that in everything we give thanks to the Almighty God.
Hold on, you're not beginning to twist the story, sort of. At first, you said we'll condole with Paul of Iran,
Yeah.
and now you say, thank God they died.
Yes.
Two contrasting opinion from you.
Not.
Okay, fine. I'll come back to it to really ask the reason why you choose to say, thank God the man died. You made some crimes, according to you, that he committed. He's a mastermind of so many other atrocities globally. Well, we'll come to that. Barrister A.B. Thomas, do you share his views and opinions in this particular discussion?
You see, the problem is this. The chopper, the Bell chopper in which the late president of Iran traveled with his foreign minister to Azerbaijan to jointly commission a dam with the president of Azerbaijan, which is in the northern or the northeast part of Iran, was an American-built Bell chopper. And that plane was first used in America in 2001. With the sundry sanctions against Iran by America and European countries, that chopper has suffered lack of proper spare parts. And the Iranians had to, on their own, begin to have their own, manufacture their own spare parts for a plane manufactured in America. So one cannot say that plane was in the best of situations. We have seen that even Russia, a superpower, had been depending on Iran for drones to have devastating effects on Ukraine. So it means that no country is self-sufficient in anything or in any instrument or aviation in the world. Besides that, the late president left Azerbaijan after the commission of the dam with another Ayatollah who leads the Friday prayers in another city inside Iran. From the pictures of the plane, of the helicopter, when it was leaving, you could see the late president in the plane. You could see the foreign minister, the Ayatollah. But you couldn't see the bodyguards who were also in the plane. Altogether, 9 of them. But the weather was very bad. The terrain, very bad for helicopters to fly. The weather was very foggy. The terrain was mountainous. And this brings to bear. Not quite long ago, Nigeria lost a prominent banker through a helicopter crash in America. So sometimes you have this problem of the control tower and the pilots. The control tower may tell the pilot, look, this place you are going, the weather is not very good. Why don't you hang on? Wait for some time. And the pilot might say, look, I can navigate my way. This was how this plane, the pilots took this ex-president. If you look at the video you are seeing, this is road, not air.
And
you can see it's foggy, terribly foggy. That is land. Then you can imagine how it will look like when somebody is in the sky, flying low in a mountainous terrain. So the helicopter simply hit the mountainous terrain and caught fire and scattered with no chance of survival for any of the passengers in the plane. What I see is to condole with the Iranians. No matter what the ex-president did in his lifetime, no death is a ground to say, thank God he died. No death. Because life is not what any of us can create. But yes, we might say, how did he rule or govern Iran? That's a different matter.
Well, we are going to dive into that.
But
we're going to dive into that, yes.
Is that it's painful to humanity. It's painful to most Iranians. And it's more painful if you look at the fact that he was not just an ordinary man flying on a duty. No matter what he has done, which we'll discuss very shortly.
All right.
But it's unfortunate he died.
He died.
And it's unfortunate the other passengers also died.
Okay, fine. Now, because it's high time we now took a look at the life and, of course, time of Ebrahim Raisi. Now, he was handpicked by Ayatollah, despite the fact that, according to report, there was an election conducted, but we all know the position of Ayatollah. After all, according to report, Ibrahim was his progeny. Now, if you take a look at Iran in its time, Iran became almost strongest in that particular region, attacking Saudi Arabia, the oil installation, supporting some fundamental Islamist group to carry out some specific, to some persons, disturbing actions globally. They even accused the ex or the dead president right now of sponsoring terrorism. Israel can attest to that because we said that this man is not responsible for this and for that. I don't forget to say about the hate also on Israel ordered by the president. He gave reasons for that. Now, putting all this together, do you think that it's a power shift already gradually taking place in the Middle East? After all, the brain behind the strategic positioning of Iran as a power bloc in the Middle East is no more. Honorable.
Yeah, by default, there's a power shift already. And to summarize the life and times of the former president Ibrahim, is to say it was a disaster. One's popularity should not be hinged on the level of disasters we have created. That's not for the growth and development of any society. That they accused him, he was rightly accused of sponsoring terrorism. I never denied it. There are a lot of Iranians that are even happier that I am right now. When I say thank God, there are even some Iranians that are happier than my state now. That a case of good riddance of bad rubbish. Because you don't just specialize in creating disasters all over. Just like three of us who don't made up our minds to buy cars. You bought, barrister bought, then I bought a towing van in case your cars broke down. Not because you want, why would you buy a towing van? Are you wishing my car to go bad? So the former Iranian president never met good for the Middle East. Things that concern him or the nation or not, he will just show interest. The killings of people, is that what you're going to use to applaud him? That you have killed so number of persons. If he was still alive, maybe he would have been faced with war crimes and all that. You know, like a lot of terrorist activities, he was behind them. He was the one supplying them all that they needed to execute the killings, killing of innocent persons in the Middle East. So a lot of persons will be celebrating. Just as some Iranians are celebrating his painful or so death that he has gone through. So I don't send it to any good lesson to say about the former president of Iran. I don't have any. Maybe as we discuss now, you mention one. Maybe I will think about it. I can't see anything good that he has done as far as global peace is concerned. Nothing good has come out of him.
Nothing good.
Of course, some persons in his own direction, like Russia, China, and the rest, will applaud him because they are all partners in crime. So these are the ones, of course, they have sent condolence messages to the people of Iran because they just miss their friend. It's a gang of armed robbers. If one of them dies, the other gang members will cry. That does not mean that the one that was brought down was a good person. Maybe a good person to them, but to the generality of the public, they were a bunch of nuisance to the society. So it will be out of place for his allies to say, we missed him. So there will be relative peace for the time being. And if there's another reincarnation or somebody that wants to play the role of the former president, to take a long while to react to rehearse all those things that the former president did. So for the period of rehearsal or trying to carry on with the legacies of the former president, to take a long while for them to bring that to bear. So to me, it's a good thing for Israel.
It's a good thing for Israel.
Yeah, that is gone.
Over not to you, Barrister, before. He said it's a
Well,
good
to
thing that
understand-
he's been accused of sponsoring
To
terrorism.
understand how Ebrahim Raisi governed Iran, you must understand the Iranian society. Because if the Americans say democracy is achieved by the votes of the majority, the votes of the majority produce Trump in America. I am sure most Nigerians don't like Trump. And today, if you hold an election today in America, Trump might win, in spite of creating the negative history of being the first American president or ex-president to face so many indictments in several courts. So if you look at the issue of how did Ebrahim Raisi become president in a country like Iran, you look at it from the prism of the Iranian society. The Iranians who were alive as at the time, Reza Pahlavi was the monarch in Iran, and how the revolution came and removed Reza Pahlavi from power. Pahlavi was an American stooge. And because the majority of Iranians didn't like being a stooge to America, they decided to fall towards conservative religion. And it's taking their own religion to the extreme, conservatism. And the father of the present INT'L, the present supreme leader, the father was the one who led the revolution against Reza Pahlavi, who was the monarch of Iran. Iran was a liberal society, very liberal. But when the Ayatollah came, the father of the President Khamenei came, he took the country into a religious society. The majority allowed it. The majority allowed him to do what he did. And that is what produced this late president. Because he was not only a prosecutor all over Iran, he was after people who were not dressing properly. When I say properly, in quotes, were not dressing according to Islamic tenets. And the duty was, look, anybody who is not following Islamic tenets in Islamic Republic of Iran, that is the name of the country. It's not Federal Republic of Iran. It is called Islamic Republic of Iran. So everything done in Iran is governed by Sharia. And if you don't implement the Sharia to the ultimate without diluting it, it means it's not an Islamic Republic.
According to them?
According to them.
All right.
So that was how this man was going around Iran, prosecuting. Then he became a judge himself. From being a judge, and for him to be a judge and for him to be prosecuting all over Iran, he was once a student of the current supreme leader. He was once a student. That is why my friend said, oh, he was going to be the next supreme leader. He was once a student. And the man described him as a very good student. And when the election of 2003 was going on, the supreme leader himself said, I like this young man. He died at 63. I like this young man. He is a good scholar of Islam. Therefore, he can rule the country. The country is safe in his hands. The other countries in the Middle East who are governing in a diluted Islamic way will not be able to penetrate Iran to practice their diluted Islam. That was how he came in and became popular as a president. One, that is not to say that there is no morality in whatever you are doing. The greatest of the massacres that took place was the lady or the young girl who was taken to the police station for not putting on the scarf properly, the hijab properly, and she was taken down to the police station and she was beaten to death.
Okay.
And this led to protest in Tehran and other Iranian cities. Eventually, this late president, as the president and the head of security forces, ordered a clampdown on the protesters, and about 500 women were massacred in the process.
We'll come to that. We want to go for a break. We'll return to continue with this discussion. Don't go away. If you just joined us, this is International Forum. Thanks a lot for staying. If you just joined us, this is International Forum, taking a look at the death of Ebrahim Raisi, the impact of power shift in the Middle East. While talking about that, we delved into his, how will I put it now, his life and time, what he did while he was alive. To some, it was palatable. To some others, it was a disaster. Well,
so as I was saying,
please continue with the point.
As I was saying,
yes,
he was able to use high-handedness to keep the country one, to keep the country safe for the Ayatollah, the supreme leader. So, as far as the majority of the Iranians were concerned, the man's rule to them was strictly in line with Islamic Republic of Iran's own constitution, which I have just told you can be different from that of any other country. For instance, in Nigeria, there was a time when a part of the country said their own is Sharia. And we in the South said, no, bad Sharia here. So it is what they wanted. But unfortunately, he is late now, but he made Iran, during his own period, to become one of the countries that the Middle East countries, not only the pure Muslim countries, Israel had the fear of Iran. They became the most powerful Islamic country in the world. Pakistan, that has nuclear weapon, respected Iran. Russia had to go cap in hand, begging Iran for kamikaze weapons.
They paid for it. They paid for it.
They paid, yes. Well, you go, even if you pay for it, for a superpower to go to Iran, somebody made Iran to put what they are. If somebody can make Nigeria have weapons that all other African countries will come and be buying, Nigeria will be popular.
All right.
Good. So the man did all that in the midst of the massacres. So may Almighty Allah forgive him his sins.
All right.
He worked well.
All right. So according to Bryce Abraham, he worked well. No matter why recounting some of his exploits, over 500 were massacred. That was like during the hijab issue in Iran, and of course, popular personalities are like accused of blasphemy, and they are ready to go for the hangman's noose. Now that is on one hand. The second is said, except for the disaster, some of the things that people may not like about Ibrahim, he was the one that brought Iran to the limelight. After all, Israel, according to him, is afraid of Iran. Pakistan respects Iran. Russia, according to him, went cap in hand to ask for kamikaze drones, so to speak, in the fight against Ukraine. Now, putting all this together, do you think that this man will not become the missing link of the prosperity of Iran, knowing fully that the man is no more?
Yes, I can't, because what Barrister said now, let me just throw that line. He concluded his last statement that he should be forgiven his sins. So why would someone...
It's like a general prayer for the dead in Islam.
Okay, so as I was saying,
yes,
that his sins be forgiven. If the sins be forgiven, that means there were some problems he created.
Definitely.
Yes. So if you want to create something for posterity, it should be something very good. But these ones wasn't the type who say very good. There was a time in Benin where one notorious armed robber, the Anini, so he brought that name to a limelight. Everybody down knows Anini family all over the world. So we don't say because the notoriety of Anini should be applauded. People that have died in an attempt to enshrine a particular part of a religion, then people's lives will be lost as a result. That's not a good thing. If he wanted to conscientize the people of Iran on modest dressing, there are avenues, armless avenues he would have used, by sensitization, by compelling them mildly to accept it. Let them understand the need to dress in a particular fashion, not by killing them. As you have killed that lady because she didn't wear the hijab, then what example have you given? There is no religion that should ensure that somebody dies. I don't think there's a religion like that. Instead, your group should be increasing, at best be multiplying. Not that if you don't do it, it will kill you. So what message from that religion have you passed to the upcoming generation? That if you don't wear the tie now, the person will die. I don't think that should be applauded. So it is a thing that I'm happy that is no more. I'm happy that is no more, because a lot of families in Iran are also thanking God that this man that created these challenges for us is no more. Because we'll say it in Benin, every day it's not the way your skin is itching you that you will scratch it, or that you peel it off. So work done becomes zero. So you wanted to do a lot of things. You bring that thing closer to the doorsteps of the people. First, let them understand what you want to do. Then gradually, you begin to build it up. Know that I've conceived a thing in my heart. If you don't follow immediately, the next thing is the capital punishment. That won't go down well with any reasonable person. So I'm expecting the vice president, that responsibility has become the president now by their own constitution, pending the election that will hold on the 28th of next month, should have a rethink, should do something in a more civilized manner. Let religion or religiosity be by choice. If you must impose it on them, let them have a basic understanding of what to do. Because a time will come, nobody will live on earth forever. A time will come, there will be the exit of one particular person. Whatever thing that person would have left behind, the next set of persons may not do it verbatim as he wanted it. There should be some bits of humanity in religiosity, so that you have a good conscience towards doing what is right. If you want to do what is right, somebody must not die. You don't have to cut off the head to cure headache. So Ebrahim was cutting off the head. Since your problem is headache, it's from the head. Let's remove the head. Not minding whether the person will still be alive or not. If you wanted to do what was right, you could cut off the tail of an animal. That animal will still be alive for a punishment. But if you cut off the head, the expected intention that you had in mind will not be realized, because the person would have been gone and gone forever. So could it be that the helicopter was to be flown? The pilot would have said, your royal whatever, we can't because of the nature. Oh, you know the meaning or the implication of disobeying my rule. Oh, as your lordship pleases, helicopter, let's start moving. The pilot would have gone to that suicide. The control tower would have said, the fog is not conducive for flight. Of course, there is no pilot that will insist that the weather is very bad, if I die, I die. No pilot, because the man or woman that flew the helicopter,
was the one that told the pilot to go ahead.
By his nature, by extrapolation, by his nature, he would have insisted, this dam has been penciled down for commissioning. Tomorrow, next, the whole of the year, I don't have any time again. We must go today. But by his nature, I can infer that he would have insisted. Maybe as they got to the place to commission the dam, it was on their way back that this thing happened. Didn't I tell you could do it? Look, didn't I tell you? So, okay, let's go back. It was in going back that caused a major challenge now. So there is no way that a control tower will give a signal that the weather is not good for flight. that the president will hear that and will say, pilot, can we go? Pilot will say yes. But the control tower signaled us that the weather wasn't good. The pilot wouldn't have been able to convince the president against the report of the control tower.
All right. I'll come back to you, Honorable. Over now, you said you wanted to react with his comment.
I like my brother a lot. He started this program by pointing fingers at external forces.
No?
To my understanding.
Well, no, he never did that. From what he said, he just said what the man did is like, bad, and is glad that it happened.
No. As to the cause of the crash, what my understanding was that there were external forces.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
That Israel won't deny.
Okay, if you didn't say so.
Yes.
I didn't say that there is any religion that says people must die. Islam does not say so. It is in our interpretation of our different religions that we go into extremism. Get that point right. Some pastors tell you you must not drink, like it's in the Bible. But if you go to
some churches, they do
some
drink.
churches,
Yeah,
they do drink.
Yes.
So if you have some people in Nigeria, and they say if you want to marry, you must lie down on the bench and take 100 lashes of koboko. If you cry, that means you are not man enough to marry. That is their culture. It may not be your culture.
Exactly.
The majority of the people in Iran felt they need a strong ruler in order not to be pawns in the hands of Israel and the Western nations. And they decided to go for strong people. That is why they have this conservative leadership in Iran. In fact, what I am concerned about right now is not about the way he ruled. Because the man who is coming as the acting president, the vice president who is coming as acting president, cannot differ or deviate from the guidelines of the supreme leader of the Ayatollah. You cannot. You either step aside or you go and rule according to the guidelines of the supreme leader. It's like you are saying that if the North Korean Kim Jong decide to create a prime minister, you think the prime minister will be able to go against Kim Jong of North Korea?
Never.
Never. So I don't expect any change. And whoever is going to win the election, the next election in 50 days' time, will certainly have to be a hardliner too. Because the majority vote, which you people call democracy, is what is going to happen. If you look at the time they removed Reza Pahlavi in 1993, I'm a bad mathematician. I think that's about 30.
That's 31.
31 years. Iran is a country populated mostly by youths. So most of them have not experienced any kind of governance based on moderation, except this conservative type of ruling.
But now they are fighting against it.
Excuse me. You look at the population of a country and look at those who are qualified to vote, and you look at those who actually vote, and look at those who are in the minority. Yes, a group of people are beginning to say, look, what we see on the internet, what we see here, we should moderate. That is natural for every country. I called my friend just now, you are a friend to somebody. He denied it quickly.
Friend to who?
Hello.
Okay.
Just an example.
Okay, for
instance,
You
yes.
see, but the person I say you are a friend to is today ruling us. Whether we like
Okay,
it or
yeah,
not.
I remember.
You remember?
It wasn't my friend at any time.
Good. Just like it was never my friend.
At any time.
At any time. So you see, that is democracy for you, which fella called democracy.
Okay, fine. Now, the election is in 15 days right now.
Yes.
And from what is happening in Iran, many youths, like was rightly said, they are the bunch of the population.
Yes.
And they are revolting against the hardline Islamic rule in Iran.
They should show it in election.
And right now, the brain behind it is out of the equation. Don't forget that under his watch, under his rule, Iran became so powerful, despite the fact that it chose to be conservative about their religion. Do you see this election going the other way, Honorable?
Yeah, it can go the way of the youths that don't like this former president and all he intended to do. The bottom line of what former President Ebrahim Raisi did was to always look at Israel. Anything he did was against Israel. So such a person, one would say, was not having a mind of his own. You are looking for your neighbor to determine how you will live. And the younger people in Iran, they are of global view that in this 21st century, there should be some bits of modifications. Don't break the Islamic law, but bend it. Bend it a bit. The approach of an elderly man over an issue is not from that of a youth. So we are not yet elderly. So don't drag us to early grave. There is a modern way to do it. I've had opportunities to teach students. What is the in thing right now is AI, artificial intelligence. I have to start learning it from them. But that's the age we are in now. So if you want to flow with this current trend, you must have an AI experience. So I will insist, no, you must do it the old way. And the younger ones are saying no. So as you rightly interjected him just now, that let's showcase that in the ballot. So if the youth are serious about a positive change in the right direction of Iran, they should go out and cast their votes for whatever intentions they have as to how they should be ruled. Otherwise, it will be a minority voice. So that aspect of the agitation is not crystallized in the direction of their claim. There is a wasted effort. So if they can get someone to oppose what is operational now as dictated, the human constitution, which is the, what do you call the man there? The one Ibrahim took after.
Oh, Supreme Leader.
The Supreme Leader.
The Supreme Leader.
So let's get someone that can mildly, not openly oppose or moderate what the Supreme Leader is saying. But they cannot take him out of that office now. There should be somebody from a new group that will, in a way, dictate a new direction. That's the only person that can stand to contest, and they will vote for that person. If they are all extremists, the youth will have no choice not to bear the challenges.
This is where, I would like to quickly come in.
But hold on, before you come in, don't forget that Iran is known for being oppressive. The government of Ebrahim
You are talking
Raisi.
of the past 31 years.
No. If you take a look at Iran, even when they're trying to quell the protest, many lost their lives.
Yes, about 500.
Why should they? No. If over 500 lost their lives, do you think they'll still vote for this government?
I am telling you, you should listen. Listen. Iran is not Nigeria or United States of America. There is a shura or a governing council directly controlled by the Ayatollah, the Supreme Leader. As you have your INEC, that one is even more powerful than INEC. This is a council of Ayatollahs. They are to screen those who will contest. So no person with moderate view have a chance of going through the screening.
So you mean they will automatically screen a person off?
You will be screened off.
Is that not because autocratic?
Excuse me. What have you done with North Korea? What have you done with Cuba? With all the sanctions against Cuba. Now Cuba is trying to moderate and go into capitalism. They are regretting. Now they have no water. They are surrounded by water, but they don't have water to drink. Whereas they are used to a particular way, you say no. They must follow the American way. Now they are in trouble. North Korea is afraid of you. When I say you have to talk of America, because they believe that you will subjugate them to your own system. Iran is saying, look, this is what is best for us. It doesn't mean Iran's 100 million, 100%, they are all accepting. I was reading something this morning. Your Senate president was telling Davido, don't let people drag you into politics. And this is our politician, our Senate president. Davido went to visit him yesterday and was telling Davido, you are doing very well as a talented musician. Don't let them drag you into politics. And you are a politician and you have made success of your politics. I am telling you, this guidance council that screens candidates, no moderate person can get there. It is the way that they themselves got there. That is this Ayatollah supreme leader. His father was the supreme leader. It's the way he got there. That is the way it's going to go back, get out. And how will they get out? It's through an effective revolution, like the one that happened in Iran in 1993. But if you say through elections, they are going to screen out every moderate person and it will be the conservative ones. Let me quickly tell you something that happened last night. The son of this current Ayatollah is already scheming. The son
to become the president.
To become president in this election. How do you expect the son of this Ayatollah to go and contest and win election, and you are expecting him to be moderate? It's not possible. And if the screening council wants to screen, they can screen another person away and put the son there. And you can't expect. You see, the Iranian leaders, as conservative as they are brainwashing the Iranians by saying, if we don't remain conservative, Israel will finish us, America will finish us. They don't talk of Britain. They don't talk of Nigeria. They keep on talking of Israel and America.
All right.
That is why they keep on arming their allies, like the Houthis in Yemen, like Hamas in Gaza.
And these are terrorist groups.
Like you are the one calling a terrorist group. Then like this.
But these are terrorist group.
Excuse me.
Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda, you just name it. ISIS, these are terrorist group.
If you call them terrorist group, I have a name for them. They are fighting for their freedom. That's my own name. Okay. So, I think I'm getting.
Of course, you said no. You for what you said, it's coming to become the president, and to become the president is going to be more brutal than Ibrahim. Now, some are happy, but you just opened another account. Don't we are pressed for time? Do you feel or think that the next president will be, in quote right now, more conservative than late Raisi?
He may not be more conservative, but he will be conservative.
If he tries to be more conservative, Ibrahim died in a plane crash. He would die in a wheelbarrow crash. Yes. Wheelbarrow.
Honorable.
Because,
honorable, we are talking about a country, a nation that values what they value, their tradition, their culture, their religion.
Learn this. The leader of a community does not get angry to the point that you will scatter everywhere. If you end up scattering everywhere, you're going to run over. So if the brutality of Ibrahim has been a pain in them, then you're coming back to say openly that you do worse than he has done. Then the youth will have more things to think about.
Well, in my own case, I will tell you straight. I don't see whoever becomes president deviating from the policies and guidelines of the supreme leader.
Unless there's a revolution.
Unless there's a revolution. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. Our time is up. Let's see how those will pan out. According to your constitution, 50 days from now, there'll be an election. Who do you think will take over from Ebrahim Raisi? Don't forget about the Ayatollahs. They are the ones doing the screening, and they may want to remain conservative. Do you think it's time for the youth to say no and revolt against the ruling order right now in Iran? We'll get to know in course of the election. Gentlemen, thank you once more. I appreciate you coming to the show. We'll keep watching as our heart goes out to Iran. Just take heart. Take heart. Bye for now.